Hello, Elina.
Hi, Yuri.
Thank you very much for coming to this interview, to this videocast podcast. I'm very happy to have you here.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thanks a lot for inviting.
And I have already introduced you a little bit in the text below this video, but could you please, with your own words, tell us something about your profession? What do you do for a living? What is your profession, please?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, by profession, I'm event producer. This is my freelance business. That is how I service clients. So I produce events of different sizes, forms, and shapes, live and online. But a part of that, my passion is to raise awareness about freelance business as such. Mm-hmm. And therefore, I also run Freelance Business Community, which is an organization that is focusing mostly on producing events for independent professionals and helping them to run their business slightly better, find connections, find ideas, inspiration, and support them on the difficult journey sometimes of independent business.
I would like to follow up on that a little bit more deeper. Can you tell us, please, which specifically projects are you working on currently at this moment?
For freelance business?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, we just finished Freelance Business Month, which is the longest event for freelancers globally. And now we're working on our next event, which is Freelance Business for Software Developers. It's coming up in, on beginning of December. And we're mega excited also that we are launching the first book, which is called Freelance Business Book, very easy to remember. Mm-hmm. And it's a collection of some of the exciting talks from last year and this year, including a combination of written text and videos. So whoever is interested in gaining extra insights and knowledge can download this book pretty soon. It's probably going to be launched also at the beginning of December. So these are the biggest projects for the moment for us.
Thank you. I would like to encourage everybody who is listening now, do not hesitate and write to Elina for a link for this book below this video. And she would be very happy and she will send you this link to this book and possibilities to obtain it. I would like to stay a little bit more with Freelance Business Month. When you look back into the past, what made you most joyful, grateful, or proud in this project? Can you share with us a little bit from the past of Freelance Business Months?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the biggest joy and pleasure that I get is when people come back to me to say, hey, I've listened to someone during this event and it encouraged me to do something, it inspired me to do something, or I found connections and I'm actually making more money now. We heard the stories and I really, really enjoy getting this feedback, even if it's a little thing. That indicates that we're doing the right thing, because obviously, you know, it's lots of effort to put something like this together. But if it doesn't resonate with freelancers, then there is no point. But luckily we do hear that. So people do come back to us and they leave the feedback and they enjoy the session. And, you know, I hope that gives them the stimulus to, you know, find the right direction if they're still choosing, or kind of streamline the processes and find ways to earn more money and find clients. So that's the biggest reward for me personally, and I hope for my team as well.
I would like to mention that I was there at the event about communities. It was very nice people and very nice team. And also I was at the closing ceremony where I met more interesting people. So I can definitely recommend this project from my side.
Thanks a lot.
So let's move now a little bit into the future. You mentioned that you are planning one event about software developing. Can you tell us a little bit more, maybe invite us, when is it gonna be and what is it about?
Yeah, well, it takes place on 6th and 7th December, so literally in a week, I think. So it's a short two-day event where we talk about business. With our events, we don't go into specificities of the profession because if we take software development, obviously it's going to be very broad and we're not able to cover, and it's not the purpose. We talk more about, okay, if you're independent and you're in the software development world, how do you handle finances, let's say? How do you look for customers? How do you niche yourself if it's even necessary? How you package your services, like, all these things that at the start sometimes might be difficult. And even with experienced freelancers, and I joined by myself, it can be a challenge, packaging your services in a way that you can scale up your business. Because I guess it's, you can be an executor. Like we had one of the sessions during Freelance Business Month where one speaker consultant literally said, yeah, you can be executor. You can just accept the jobs that come into your way, or you can actually shape up your own business as enterprise does. You find your strongest points, you know your value, and you pitch that way, and you build authority around your services so that you've been referred all the time. So technically you don't even need to sell anymore. So yeah, that's the basic idea. And as always, we run events on the platform where people can connect, build a network, and we like also to do a part of presentations, smaller sessions where people just meet for 30 minutes and discuss issues that they're having and maybe try to find some solutions with others. So that's basically it. I'm very glad that we've been supported by some of the main companies in the field. Gigai, which is a startup in a job platform for technical professions. Topcoder is probably one of the most famous, and the local Belgium company Van Breda, which provides insurances. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we looking forward to that event, obviously, and thank a lot our partners who support us in this initiative.
Elina, I don't usually, I rarely ask this question, only sometimes when the topic is interesting for me personally. And now I will make an exception. I will ask you about the trend in the event management business. What are the trends for the future in this event field?
Oh, that's such a big question. I'd say there are many trends, obviously. One of the main ones that we've seen is that all of a sudden, everyone started looking in technology field. And being in event industry for almost 20 years by now, I can tell that it's never been a question even. No one ever thought, yeah, events are associated with technology. And that was the big gap. As a matter of fact, event technologists did not exist. There was few people who were doing event technology as the subject of the interest, but it's never been on top of agendas. Nobody would even hire event technologists because there is such a need, and it's all of a sudden changed. So the trend will continue, obviously. Realization that with technology you can do more than just having a live meeting in the venue, is very strong right now. So it will continue. Now the question stands, obviously, there are like old school professionals and new school professionals, and somehow it merges in between with the production of hybrid events. And now question is, okay, do we need to have hybrid events, or do we do only live, or we only do online? So I guess the trend is that you have to find the golden middle between these two, because you cannot exclude. I always say we've been so egoistic pushing live events when, as a matter of fact, online events provide so many opportunities to others who are not able to come to your event, right? These are disabled people, these are people with some difficulties, those who cannot travel, and many, many other things. And now all of a sudden they've got access to all this amazing content that is being produced. And I find it strange that people still pushing for live events, just forgetting all those who will be excluded from this opportunity. So that's why inclusivity comes as a very big topic nowadays, and diversity as well. So trends. Another big trend is that all of a sudden we start talking about communities as such, and not all these big communities, but also smaller. Because even for a smaller community, you want to create an event, a meeting, that people connect, whether it's live or online, doesn't matter. And not necessarily need to have like million of followers. You still have your own group that you want to connect somehow. And so micro community is coming up as a trend as well in event field. Yeah, there are many things to mention actually. These are just few important ones, I guess, for me.
Now the next, my last question is because maybe some people who know you are watching also, and for them I would like to reveal something about your little bit more to lighten it up a little bit, this interview with not so business topic. What is your hobby actually? Do you have any time for hobbies in your busy life?
Oh gosh, I for long I had a very big hobby, which is photography. As I used to travel a lot, I like to do travel photography. But I have to say, for the last 2 years, just because we got locked, and yeah, probably because interest also faded away a little bit. My camera is just laying here next to me all the time, looking at me like, okay, you forgot about me. But yeah, photography is my passion. Just trying to think if there is anything else. I love history. I love reading about history. So yeah, that's how I spend my leisure time when I have little.
Thank you, Elina, for sharing with us. What would be the final takeaway message, very brief one, short one, which you would give to the listeners? One final takeaway message, what would that be?
Oh, I would say dare to pursue your dreams, or ideas rather, not dreams. Because what I find most of the time is that we have ideas and we are afraid to act for several reasons, whether risks are too high or we don't know how to approach it, or you think, yeah, it's just an idea, but nobody's going to like it. Just try it. Try to find the right people who will support you, gain insights from others, and that's why events are important. And just act, just launch it to see whether or not it's gonna take off. And sometimes you'll be surprised, because that's better than just keeping your ideas, in your head and then regretting that you've never even tried. So that's a message for everyone, for myself as well. I've been in that situation many times and still, and so mentally trying to push myself to dare to do things that I think are just crazy. So go for crazy ideas.
There was one more thing which I wanted to ask you privately, but I left it for recording. How do you pronounce your surname, please? Because for me, it's very hard to pronounce it.
It's Jutelyte.
Jutelyte. Thank you very much for coming to this interview, Elina. Our honored guest was Elina Jutelyte.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Iri. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.